I'm Patrick Birch, the City Administrator for the City of Maumee, and I'm joined here today by Jennifer Harkey, who is our Finance Director, and also Alan Lehnbauer, who is our Law Director for the City of Maumee. And we're here to provide answers for our residents regarding questions they had at last Monday night's council meeting regarding water billing and meter and telemetry malfunctions. Several residents asked how it came about that the county fairgrounds and recreation center had stormwater entering our sanitary system, and what does that really mean? What it really means is that, for first, I want to make it very clear, they're not the only one that have this problem in terms of commercial property, and many communities have the very same problem. It's just that the fairgrounds and the rec center have been known through flow metering, very accurate flow metering, that they are contributing stormwater into pipes that eventually end up in our sanitary sewer and are measured by sanitary flow meters that were provided by the state EPA for us to monitor and write our plans and how to fix our problem. It's pretty substantial. There are some cases where we've taken upwards of 1 million gallons a day when the average usage is less than 2,000 gallons a day when it's not raining. What that does is provides a pretty difficult situation for us because we surcharge our pipes. We can't tell you definitively whether that contributed to Maumee's discharge into the river in terms of natural discharges, but what we can tell you is that if it fills the capacity of a pipe and the upstream water coming into it doesn't have room to fill that pipe to discharge further down to the county in terms of at Jerome Road, we know that it could create a surcharge system and backing up thus in the river. Like I said again, I want to make it very clear that they are not, the county system at the fairgrounds is not the only culprit here. There are other large culprits. But I do want to make clear that the pipes, they have stormwater pipes throughout the system and sanitary pipes throughout that 73-acre parcel. And having met with the county and the wastewater collection people, they're working diligently to try to separate those sewers and try to line sewers that help reduce that amount of flow. Now, very clearly, we're going to continue to monitor. We've sent bills out to the county and also the City of Toledo and also other commercial users that have large amounts of water coming off of parking lots or roof drains coming into our system, thus causing a future problem. They have those things, but we will continue to monitor these all the way through, even while they're being fixed. We do believe the county is moving to fix the problem. However, it doesn't mean that during that process, every drop of water that comes into our sanitary sewer that was illicit in nature in terms of stormwater, that means that we have to pay the county at the county wastewater facility to treat that, and that's what our residents are currently paying. Do we believe that we may have some savings in the future for our residents as a result of sending those bills? Not only what we get paid by the county in interim, but also because we're trying diligently to make sure that we're offsetting future costs to our residents because of illicit sources such as stormwater getting in a sanitary sewer. A question posed at our Monday council meeting was also regarding whether or not the City Council would consider raising the senior discount for water and sewer bills. That was also previously requested. The Finance Committee met and the three of us were directed to come up with recommendations on how best to serve our seniors in terms of this discount for water and sewer. I can assure you that what's going to be going to council from the Finance Committee is likely an increase for those senior citizens that are most in need of the help in paying their water and sewer bills.
We've also received questions as to where residents can find the senior discount information. It's available on our website through the utility billing menu item. You can also email utility billing and they will send you the application as well. The utility billing office has also received questions about our meter reading system and how those reports are displayed. The reads are transmitted every hour on the hour and then summarized essentially for the next day. So for example, yesterday's consumption on a water meter was electronically transmitted to our meter reading system every hour, but then summarized on today's date at midnight. For example, if you're going out of town on vacation, that consumption the day before you actually leave for vacation will actually record on the next day at midnight. So if you're calling the utility billing office and you're wanting to know your read or your consumption, you can request that report by hourly consumption as well as day consumption. At Monday night's council meeting, we also had questions about testing water meters and specifically the charge. So there is a $150 charge to test a water meter. That is because there is labor cost involved. So it involves 2 crew members coming to the resident's home and physically removing the meter. And then the meter stays with the resident follows the crew members back to the water tower, where then the meter is tested to AWWA standards. We discourage this not only because of the cost, but also the fact that we have not had any meters fail. The city will issue a video shortly that will empower our customers to test their own meter at home.
Another question that was asked in the meeting Monday night, the city council meeting, was that how are other communities measuring the use of their water and how they're being metered? Well, very similar to ours. Maumee has a system where we have a physical meter made by Mueller. Some are made by Badger in other communities, but they're mechanical meters and they read continually. The nuance that we have is that we have a telemetry system that actually is operated by a battery that communicates that reading to the water tower and our billing system. It does it continually. Most communities don't have that. They either have somebody who goes out, which is kind of an antiquated system, but many communities can't afford to do this. They have people who walk door to door and read their meters. Many people out there will remember that, even here in Maumee, where that was the case. And then systems evolved to where somebody would walk door to door and they had a reader that they would point at a telemetry unit on the side of the house. And then some communities even went to a system where a vehicle would drive down the street and automatically read those readers. Maumee's system is very technologically advanced. We have a meter, which is a physical meter that's continually running, reading flow through that meter. We don't know how people use it, but it continually flows. We also have a reader that relies on a battery. The batteries prematurely failed.
A question was asked if it's against the law for the city of Maumee to forgive a water bill. That is a very good question. The city of Maumee as a public entity cannot forgive a bill that is owed for services provided. Ohio law requires that the state auditor perform audits on all public entities. Where an audit determines that any public money has been illegally expended or that any money collected has not been accounted for, or that any public money due has not been collected, if the state auditor determined that the city had forgiven a bill, they would require action to be taken against the public official or employee who forgave that bill. The auditor could also take action against the individual whose bill was forgiven. A question was also asked about how water and sewer bills become a lien against properties. Maumee ordinances establish that all water and sewer charges are a lien against the premises served. State law has provided since at least 1953 that sewer charges are a lien against the premises served. State law also establishes that water charges can be a lien against the premises served. The reason for this is that the property served receives the benefit of the water and sewer services and should be responsible for that bill. If the city did not collect from the property served, then these charges would be assessed against all the citizens in effect. It has been a long-standing practice of title companies when you're at a closing to require the seller of a property to sign an affidavit that indicates that all their water and sewer bills for that property have been paid and are current. If a property owner does not receive such an affidavit or doesn't receive that assurance, they should contact the water department or utility billing department to determine that all water and sewer charges for the property they are purchasing have been paid, as that charge will be a lien against the property and owed by the new purchaser. For residents or anyone who is purchasing real property, it is important for them to work with experienced realtors, title companies, real estate attorneys, so that they can determine if there are liens, including those for water and sewer, against a property before they close on that property.
We also had a question regarding our new online bill payment and presentment option. If you do not know your account number, please contact Utility Billing. You can email them as well at utilitybilling@maumee.org to request your account number. Access to the system is based on account number for privacy and security concerns.
A question was asked at the Maumee Council meeting whether the City of Maumee was aware that the City of Jackson, Mississippi had settled a lawsuit with Mueller Systems for the sum of $90 million for trauma to its citizens. The lawsuit that the City of Jackson filed had nothing to do with trauma to its citizens. The City of Jackson, Mississippi's lawsuit involved a claim that Siemens Corporation perpetuated a massive fraud upon the City of Jackson by having a performance audit conducted. Mueller Systems was dismissed from the lawsuit, and Siemens Corporation paid the sum of $89 million to the City of Jackson for its damages. No citizens of Jackson received any money as a result of this settlement.
There's been some concern that the City of Maumee doesn't show empathy or sympathy toward people who are struggling with these bills. We know that some of those bills, the catch-up bills, are rather high. A payment plan's been authorized. But I want to make very clear that there are the city council members that sit up on that dais and employees that deal with these bills. Many of them pay the same bills and struggle with the same issues. There's no one who takes any enjoyment out of providing a bill to somebody that's going to be difficult to pay. We also want to make sure that when our staff tries to suggest that there may be a leak, it's something we do out of a courtesy for our residents. Because of the system we have, it alerts us pretty quickly if that system is, batteries are operating appropriately. It helps us give residents an idea that water is moving through their meter. We can't tell you how that water is being utilized or whether it's a leak, but we do give you suggestions to look for to make sure that people can do their best at trying to troubleshoot a problem within their own home. We do want to make sure that if you're having an issue with your bill, that please know that the city website is currently under reconstruction to make it more malleable to our residents and to make sure that people can find what they need. We do also want to make clear that the water billing staff are still always available to take your calls if you have a problem on a case-by-case basis, and we'll do our best, our absolute best, to take care of our residents to the extent we can legally do so.